Hello, world! Today we're going to talk about gang stalking. There's a lot of misinformation out. If you, first of all, the most important thing you can do, if all you've got is like a few minutes, just go to my playlist on my channel entitled Gang Stalking, etc., and save it to watch later. Like right now. There's only one thing you do, because the best evidence is just to watch videos where it's actually happening. And about 90, I've had to comb through a lot of bullshit videos to find real ones, because there are a lot of people uploading. A lot of them are probably gang stalkers or role players themselves, and trolls and shills uploading fake or inconclusive videos that they label gang stalking, when in fact, there's fucking nothing happening in that video. So either they aren't being gang stalked and they're trying to signal jam others uploading real videos, or they simply did not catch like a sequence of any kind of events that shows conclusively that it's gang stalking. And that's okay. I mean, it's really hard to catch on video, so can't blame those folks for trying. But anyway, there are a lot of liars with their pants on fires uploading bullshit that is not gang stalking to YouTube, and they're also on Reddit. Something that I like to do a lot in the subreddits is say, like, show up at the gang stalking sub and say stuff like, "I'm new here and I don't know anything about gang stalking. Please explain it." That's a time waster troll. Don't bite. Okay, first thing we're gonna do, reminder, see my playlist. Second thing, we're going to talk about what gang stalking means, including the methods used. In the description, I've put links to gang stalker job listings, along with other links containing supporting evidence, such as there is a video of a military outfit of some sort testing direct energy weapons on each other and just doing drills as though civilians are attacking them, and then they attack back with direct energy weapons because they're fucking dorks who never got past like Boy Scouts. Anyway, that video is there, and it's very obvious that direct energy weapons are real from that video. And I mean, we have microwaves, so there you go. I mean, that's really all the kind of thing you need to attack from a distance with, quote, energy. The term Zersetzung is translated into English as decomposition, although it can be variously translated as decay, corrosion, undermining, biodegradation, or dissolution. Zersetzung is an important word to know because that is what the Stasi called the gang stalking program of, was it East or West Berlin? Sorry, I get them confused. But one side was Gestapo and one side was Stasi. The Gestapo was more of a physical smash and grab method of control, and then the Stasi focused more on psychological control. And their program was called Zersetzung, Zersetzung. The Ministry for Staatssicherheit, commonly known as the Stasi, was the main security service of the German Democratic Republic. This is from Wikipedia, by the way. East Germany, or GDR. There we go, East Germany. It was defined as Zersetzung in its 1985 Dictionary of Political Operatives as a method of operation by the Ministry for Staatssicherheit for an efficacious struggle against subversive activities, particularly in the treatment of operations. So subversive activities could be criticizing your government or like complaining about the way the system works. Okay, so that's everyone with a brain. Moreover, methods of Zersetzung include espionage, overt, hidden, and feigned, opening letters and listening to telephone calls, encroachments on private property, manipulation of vehicles, and even poisoning of food and using false medications. Certain collaborators of the Stasi tacitly took into account the suicide of victims of Zersetzung. It has not been definitely established that the Stasi used X-rays to provoke long-term health problems in its opponents. But that said, Rudolf Barrow, Gerulf Panak, and Jürgen Fuchs, three important dissidents who had been imprisoned at the same time, died of cancer within an interval of 2 years. A study by the Federal Commissioner for the Records of the State Security Service of the former GDR has, meanwhile, rejected on the basis of extant documents, such as the fraudulent use of X-rays, and only mentions isolated unintentional cases of blah, 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 blah. Okay. In the name of the target, the Stasi made little announcements, ordered products, and made emergency calls to terrorize them. In the name of the target. To threaten or intimidate or cause psychosis, the Stasi assured itself of access to the target's living quarters and left visible traces of its presence by adding, removing, and modifying objects such as the socks in one's drawer, or by altering the time that an alarm clock was set to go off, for example. There are a bunch of ways this might be carried out. So anyone who's seen the Kay Griggs interview, it's like 6 hours long, and it talks about her time as a military wife. She was married to a general, and she talks about people who had access to her apartment and would mess with the items in her drawers. And the point of doing this was a couple of reasons. It will make you go nuts if you think things are moving around in your house and there's no one who really would have done that, and you didn't do it, and you start wondering if you are going insane, like that, much like in the movie from that movie in the 30s called I think it's called just The Gaslight. And that's another good one to watch, to see examples of someone driving another person crazy by making small changes in their environment and then denying that they made them, or just doing them covertly. So Kay Griggs, if you check her out on YouTube, she'll tell you some more examples as well, specifically about the home being broken into. So another method of gang stalking, there are so many. I mean, when you see a bunch of trolls like dogpile me on my channel, I know what the fuck these people are. I know what they're doing. Like, some of them are just trolls who are offended that I am just speaking subversive things. Some of them actually I'm sure they work for companies. I'm sure a lot of them work for the military, and they need to go the fuck back to playing Call of Duty and eating their tendies and fuck off of my channel. Or they can hang out on my channel and drive out higher in the results. I just delete any comments that are excessive. I'll leave stupid ones up, but if I see spam or excessive, just nonsense, I just delete them anyway. It just doesn't matter. Then the gang stalker will also kind of follow people in public. They'll be given a target to follow. Typically, from what I've read, there'll be five gang stalkers-ish assigned to, say, a small group or a gathering that is subversive. And then per individuals, they tend to assign like 3 gang stalkers to one person. I don't know if someone is in a group, if you'll get both of those clusters assigned to you. I'm not sure about that, but so following in public, stalking on the internet, trolling, shilling, also EMF, electromagnetic weapons. In the description, we've got the Wikipedia. Wikipedia published a video called the Active Denial System Demo. And yeah, just click on that link and check it out. It's the military doing a drill and using EMF weapons. To me, their pain when the weapon strikes them does not seem feigned. I know the military loves to lie, and they love to do drills, and they love to fancy themselves actors. But in this case, I think they're really feeling the heat from that weapon, it looks like. You can also go to Indeed to find job titles of role players. Let's see. The first one I have in the links is a surveillance role player. If these links break, please go ahead and just search by keyword. Google to see if you can find, maybe it's more. I've just looked on Indeed. I'm sure that the rest of the big job listing aggregators will show you plenty of jobs for gang stalkers if you type in these keywords. The second link is training programs role player with active secret clearance for Newport News, Virginia. Is that a town or a? And the third one is counterintelligence role players, non-employee for General Dynamics Information Technology. So take a look at those job listings and tell me what you think they are if they're not gang stalkers. I actually mentioned this to someone on a social media platform, and they said, "What makes you think that these jobs are gang stalking jobs?" To that, I have to say, if you're blind to this, like if you don't have eyes to see, I cannot help you. So just remember that as you go on studying gang stalking, people are gonna do things like signal jam. So they'll upload a bunch of videos that have that aren't gang stalking. They will dogpile you. They love to accuse people of being schizophrenic. Now, are there some people who are schizophrenic? That can be argued, yes. Are there people? I really want to back away from pathologizing behaviors that result from sick environments. However, do people have schizophrenia? Like, yeah, okay. But can someone with schizophrenia be gang stalked? Sure. So it's just like they say, just because you're paranoid doesn't mean they're not out to get you. And in fact, people who are paranoia just seems to be a bit of a pathologizing of hypervigilance. And hypervigilance is something you learn by being victimized. And being victim is not an insult. It's simply something that a perpetrator makes you into. There's nothing about, if someone's a victim, that says nothing about their character. It's not like people will say, oh, you're making yourself a victim. You have a victim complex. No, that's called you're blaming the victim. That's crazy. Why would you use victim as an insult? It's not. It's simply a status you have from being perpetrated against. That is all. Victims do nothing. Perpetrators are to blame. That's the definition of perpetrator. And perp is what we call gang stalkers. That is a more legally solid thing to call them and accurate. And it reminds perps that indeed they are doing something that is illegal. Gang stalking is illegal, and you can get in big fat trouble. It's a felony. So if you gang stalk, you're playing with fire. And if you think that people aren't finding out about it, the number one thing gang stalking programs need is to be covert. Because you're not going to go crazy if in fact it's been confirmed to you that you're not, because others are experiencing the same thing. And they're depending on us to not talk about it and to not be able to break through all the signal jamming that is being placed out there by gang stalkers, by perps. So we're going to talk about it. And once everyone knows that it's a program, it's simply not going to work, because it needs to be covert and it needs to be secret, and they need their targets to feel like they're going insane. The targeted individual is another phrase that's key here. Targeted individual, you can keyword search that. And again, you'll find a lot of signal jamming fake stuff. But if you dig, you'll find real TIs. One way to know a real TI, I think, is that they give a lot of detail and they'll tell stories in great detail. And if they retell those stories, they don't change. If you hear someone that's like, if you see, say, on the gang stalking subreddit, someone who's like, these gang stalkers and perps are so pathetic. I hate them so much and they're so terrible. And that's the whole post. Like, okay, we need a little more than that from you. We need a story. We need information about how you found out you're being gang stalked. We need creative ideas on how to deal with it. And creative ideas when it comes to documenting. Take video, get audio. If you're being mobbed at work, which is another form of gang stalking, where everyone, this is so common, when everyone, like, your HR fucking Pizza the Hut, nasty ass lady at her little HR desk with her Scentsy and her fucking picture of her dog in a clown outfit and shit. That lady, when she starts spreading rumors and disinformation about you and smearing your character to people behind your back, just with little comments here and there, you can't really prove that she's done it right. Well, you can if you can manage to either get help in like getting people to report to you, which is tough if you're being mobbed against at work. Everyone's scared of their bosses getting fired, especially now. But if you can get that, if there's any way you can take recordings of what they're saying, and there are legal ways, especially in a one-party consent state. Look up which one your state is. If it's two-party, legally you have to have the consent of both parties to get a recording for it to be admissible in court. But in a one-party consent state, as long as you're part of the conversation, you can record. If you're not part of the conversation, now you're getting into legally stickier territory. I'm not saying don't record. I'm just saying know what you're getting into, and that you won't be able to use that recording in court. Although if you can obtain information in some way by recording and keep that under your hat and then go ahead and use it as a lead, you might have something there. And the last thing I want to talk about is my little story of how I was talking on social media with someone about gang stalking, and they posted a Discord server link invite. So I went to that server, and it's this pretty good sized ARG server. So an ARG is not augmented, artificial reality game, which means it's like a mind game where you have to solve the puzzles and progress through the phases or the levels of the game. And in order to do so, you have to complete certain tasks or figure things out. It's very open-ended and free form. I'm not sure what happens if you win an ARG. I think that what's happening there is that possibly some people can see that there are victims of stalking, or at least people who are interested, who are looking into this, and it almost seems like they're trying to divert traffic into an ARG. Or it's just someone who likes to play ARGs and they're finding people who think outside the box to do so, and they figured a gang stalking sub would find a lot of interesting thinkers, people who, you know, are not just like moo, that they can get on their server and they can all work together to play ARGs. I don't really know, but I keep seeing, I don't know how to describe it. It's just sort of, I keep seeing ARGs popping up here and there in conversations about gang stalking, just here and there. It's very occasional. So anyway, take a look at these links. Let me know what you think. I don't give a fuck if trolls hang out. I'll just delete their shit, and get at me at my email. I will put that in the description as well. legalfictionnaturalfact@gmail.com. All strung together. It's just like my username. Yep. So, oh, hold on. Let me check the chat. Oh, Mark's here. Hi, Mark. I'm going to wrap it up. Oh, Mark is asking if just have a question in the chat, like, if good people had the technology. Like, does that mean, I'm not sure what the question is. It's okay. I'll stream again before too long. He said he just got here toward the end, period. Oh, I just said period like I'm on my phone talking. Sorry. Comma, period, exclamation point. I think technology can be used for good or for bad. I don't think technology is neutral. It's just a tool. Like people say you can't use the master's tools to tear down the master's house. And to that I say, fucking watch me, because I will, and we are. RIP headphones. Transhumanism in the hands of good people. Here's the problem with that's an oxymoron, or like self-canceling, because I say that because why would humankind, and maybe I should say mankind in this case, I know men love to leave us out, but I think in this case I should say mankind thinks he can do better than Mother Nature at designing humans or animals. And I will tell you right now that the earth has a lot more experience in that, and she's going to do it better, and we should leave that alone. Transhumanism is an arrogant idea that humans think they can do better than nature or something, and that's just ridiculous. I mean, the proof's in the pudding. Look what happens every time they try. You know? Transhuman. I like good people. What would good people do with transhumanism? I just trust what nature's done for me. My DNA is going to continue to improve, just as a matter of that's what it does. That's just what evolution does. It's like not something you have to fuck with or fiddle with or force. It just goes, and we're probably not going to be able to outstrip Mother Nature. I mean, I don't know why people are so arrogant about that. Or maybe hopeful. You could say hopeful in the sense, look, if you use principles that some people would use for transhumanism, but you use it to help someone who can't hear to hear, like to fix auditory perception issues, or to fix someone's eyes, or I mean, okay, that's like repairs of things that are broken, but let's not fix what isn't broken in the sense of like, because they're, the elite are trying to make super soldiers. They're fucking idiots. Like they're so narcissistic and crazy. They think all their dumb ideas can work. It doesn't make any scientific sense. They're not very sensible. It doesn't, they have these weird, crazy, outlandish ideas that someone who's well versed in like the application of the sciences would be like, okay, that's probably more disaster than anything. But they have the money. The elite have the money. Artificial wombs. Mark Leahy says he's against artificial wombs. Yeah, I think that trying to get to a point where we have artificial wombs would be so. I think that Oh my God, yeah. The outcomes of that would be insane, like trying to even get there. So many people would die. It'd be insane. I mean, it's just, and why? Like, check it out. We have wombs. They work. There they are. I have one. It works. It's done things. Like, why would you? I know why. I mean, it's so that, because there's a faction of trans women, which is really just dudes in dresses who think that they can make women completely obsolete. Like women, like the military itself and the patriarchal institutions that run the world and the Vatican, everything, like the Vatican, the military, the CIA, all of these have a male homoerotic undercurrent to them, and they don't care really about women. They hate women. The femaleness stands for giving life, and they don't want life, they want destruction. So they really have a deep-seated hatred for women, and they do want to replace us, and they do want to make us obsolete. Like, they need us to make babies for their lineages, but if they could get around that and just make their own babies and then have us as slaves to raise them, but the babies aren't ours, they're not biologically ours, like, and then like half of women take care of babies and then half of women are just prostitutes, they would love that. That would be like their ideal outcome, probably. I did read a radical feminist, really awesome creative writing exercise where I can't remember her name, like I'll have to dig this, but she had this short story about when she was like her character was at a daycare and she found like a secret underground bunker underneath it, and there were actually these torsos of women, like the legs and the heads and the arms were cut off. Sorry, really graphic, but like, and they were just like used gestation. It's like, I think that the military has tried this or probably will try it in their effort to like, when they realize like it's hard to make an artificial womb. Okay. Just, it's a complicated thing. So they would sooner like chop women down into torsos and keep them on life supports and like use it to make their sprogs like that. Like I don't think anything's beyond these people. They'll do any kind of crazy shit. Mark Leahy is pretty feminist friendly for a dude, I will say. You confuse me, Mark, because there have been times I wondered if you were trolling me. But when you say things like males are bad at the X chromosome, then I have to agree. Well, anyway, I'm going to wrap it up. Thanks for stopping by, Mark. I'm going to go ahead and call it, and then I'll get back on later and do some more interesting topics. I'm studying up on like weird places in the US that witchcraft may or may not be occurring, like people who believe the devil exists and then they kill people for that devil. Like I've been following some YouTubers who are following that stuff. So I'll try to keep some interesting stuff coming up. Anyway, Mark says he's not a troll. Okay, well, good. I'm glad. Oh, it's a rainy day. Everybody have a safe one. Be cool, be chill. The coronavirus is still a hoax. Don't worry. If you're afraid, okay, I mean, I understand if you feel like wearing a mask helps, but I say look up Event 201. Understand that you're not in danger from the virus so much as you are from the overlords. Okay, have a good day. Mwah.